Ahead of the Bengal polls, Trinamool MP Dinesh Trivedi quit from the Rajya Sabha in a shocking development. He said he's feeling suffocated and it's for the sake of Bengal. However, the Trinamool reacted saying that Trinamool means grassroots and this will give us an opportunity to send a grassroots worker of ours to the Rajya Sabha. Listen in to Dinesh Trivedi's statement.
तो आज मुझे आत्मा ये कह रही है कि यहाँ बैठे बैठे यदि आप चुपचाप रहो और कुछ नहीं कह सकते हो, उससे अच्छा है कि यहां से आप त्यागपत्र दो और जाके बंगाल की भूमि में
इसके लिए ड्यू प्रोसेस है। माननीय चेयरमैन साहब को
कहता हूं, मैं आज यहां से इस्तीफा दे रहा हूं और देश के लिए, बंगाल के लिए हमेशा
इसके लिए भी एक ड्यू प्रोसेस है। माननीय चेयरमैन साहब को आप लिखित।
All right, let's go across to NDTV. Sunil and Monideepa for more on that. Sunil, first you, a very dramatic resignation. There are shocking, developments suddenly in Rajya Sabha.
Absolutely shocking. They were taken aback completely, Trinamool Congress. And for those, and Monideepa will bear with me, way back in 2003, it was Dinesh Trivedi who helped actually Mamata Banerjee not allow Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the then Prime Minister, along with L.K. Advani, to break the Trinamool Congress party, telling and making it clear that Sudip Bandyopadhyay cannot be sworn in as a minister, and Mamata Banerjee, of course, didn't participate, and then ultimately both Mr. Vajpayee as well as Mr. Advani agreed with Mamata Banerjee and did not swear in Mr. Sudip Bandyopadhyay at that time. It's from there onwards he became a loyal soldier of the Trinamool Congress, a confidant of Mamata Banerjee, became even the railway minister. Ultimately, of course, he was embarrassed on the floor of the House when no less than Derek O'Brien said that the hike in fares were not acceptable. He stomached all those insults. He continued to be with the Trinamool Congress. In fact, in the last elections, Mamata Banerjee, despite having second thoughts, gave Mr. Dinesh Trivedi that seat in Barakpur, despite certain misgivings, and of course, the rest, of course, is history. Mr. Arun joined the BJP and defeated him. Now it's a full circle coming around. Mr. Dinesh Trivedi all set to join the BJP. It's a big shocker for the Trinamool Congress ahead of the state elections.
Right, Moni, and if you could tell us about, the reactions there already. We have one from Trinamool MP, Sukhendu Roy, who's taking, a snipe at the fact that he's not a grassroots leader, and he's saying that, it gives us an opportunity to send somebody more from the grassroots to Parliament.
Well, that sort of indicates the kind of level and the tensions of problems between Dinesh Trivedi and the party. At one time in 2002, 2003, Dinesh Trivedi was the mover and shaker and by Mamata Banerjee's side very prominently. In fact, there were many who would, suggest that he is the man who was helping bring in the finances to set up that fledgling party that began in 1998. But by and by, over the years, there has been a diminishing of his stature. There is no doubt about it. Though he has been an MP from Barakpur, and from 2009 to 2019, his position in the party became increasingly that of a backbencher, if you want to put it politely. And, Mr. Trivedi, with his suave, demeanor, he, rode along with it. There was never a time when he expressed any dissatisfaction publicly, unlike a lot of other members of the party. But clearly it was brewing within him, and finally the time has come to take this decision. That's what he's apparently felt, and done it on Rajya Sabha. Now, there are tensions within the party between Mr. Dinesh Trivedi and some other MPs. I mean, that is a fairly well-known story. There's also the fact that he went and lost 2019. He has, I believe, from sources, always felt that the Trinamool didn't push hard enough for him in 2019, allowing Arjun Singh to replace him. Arjun Singh was just one of the 7 MLAs in that constituency, but Arjun Singh was allowed to He felt, and that's what sources are telling us, that at one time, had the Trinamool pushed hard enough, then he may have retained that seat. After he lost, there was an attempt, we saw, to sort of give him due importance in the party. And just last year, when a vacancy came up in Rajya Sabha, the Trinamool nominated him. But clearly that was not enough. Even within Parliament, we believe there were tensions with some colleagues. And Shekhar Roy's comment is telling. The Trinamool, which believes it is the grassroots party, that's what Trinamool means, felt that he, with his background, somehow never quite fit the bill. What is also interesting is that Dinesh Trivedi is known to be, somebody who has in some public occasions or even in private admitted admiration for a lot of the work that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was doing. Surely that wouldn't have gone down well with his party. And now, a day after Mr. Amit Shah's visit to Bengal, a push, it seems, has come to shove. What will it mean? Does it mean that just because he resigns as Rajya Sabha MP, he is out of the party? Because remember, even in his exit speech, Mr. Dinesh Trivedi did talk about thanking the party for sending him to Rajya Sabha. So we'll have to see how this unfolds. But Shekhar Roy has spoken, so has Shougata Roy, the Lok Sabha MP, and he has regretted that this has happened at a time just ahead of the elections. Mr. Shougata Roy, speaking to local channel reporters here in Kolkata, he said that he was aware when he flew in with Dinesh Trivedi a week ago to Delhi that there was some dissatisfaction within Dinesh Trivedi, but he said, "I never thought it would come to this." So certainly Trinamool will have to do some damage control, and Dinesh Trivedi, what he plans to do in the coming days is something we will all be watching very closely indeed.